This is Iron Lateran. He is a realistic, medieval, lore-locked, hardcore Iron Man. This means that he can't use magic, can't runecraft, can't use any magical items, or teleports. My goal is to explore the world of RuneScape as a scholar of literature and medieval lore and see how it stacks up to the real thing. I'll be doing this experiment as long as is needed, but in the meantime, I have monsters to slay, heretics to persecute, lessons to learn,
Pizza is not consistent with a medieval RPG.
and quests to complete. Enjoy!
Hi everyone. Before I start this week's episode, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's been following this channel, commenting in the comment section, and all around just being an awesome fan base. I never would have imagined that more than 2 or 3 people would have interest in what I have to say on this subject in this very niche role in this very old game. Oh wait, I still have an axe from the last episode. It does take me a lot of time to produce these from my free time, and I don't have a lot of that since I am a teacher in my normal, day job. So if you are somebody who follows the channel and really enjoys what I produce, then please share this with your friends. It's not necessary for me to receive any kind of money for this because I think education should be free for everyone forever. There's literally nothing to lose by sharing it with your friends. So just consider doing that as you watch this episode. Thank you. Oh boy, we're here. We're finally ready. We're gonna talk to him. We're gonna get the quest started. I can pickpocket the Duke. Oh, it's Sigmund. Never mind. I was gonna say, wait a second. That doesn't sound like a good idea. I can pickpocket Sigmund. I think we have to do that later in the quest. Let's talk to him right away. Let's get this started. Do you have any quests for me? The first thing he does is say, oh hey, go to the basement. Part of the wall has collapsed. Do I look like a contractor? Like, do I have a pencil behind my ear? Like, oh yeah, I could get you a quote probably within a week and then not show up for 4 and definitely won't return your calls. Oh, he insists it's an earthquake. Well, was there an earthquake? I mean, I'm not a geology expert, but if there wasn't an earthquake, I don't think it's gonna be relevant. Ask people around the town if they saw anything. Or felt anything. I don't know, like an earthquake, maybe? Did they feel an earthquake? Was there an earthquake? Do I need to invent the Richter scale? I could probably do that. It's not hard. Like what? A fountain pen and a rubber band? Hey, don't mind me. I'm just gonna ask you some questions while holding this bloody axe. Oh, naturally, this would be the best person to ask, right? He's a clue hunter. He knows what's going on. And it's not even an option. Just. Alright, goodbye. You were useless. The castle is even older than this church, and it's so terrible that it would be damaged, even if it's only the cellar. I'm trying to imagine some kind of relevant point to make about churches and castles. Nope, nothing that I haven't already said, so that's easy. We should slay them with an axe. Very clever there, Bob, securing yourself a market. Very smart. Oh, wait, what? No, wait. Whoa, it's Hans! We've converted him. Oh my gosh, he was calling us an infidel, but now we've converted him. Oh, Hans, I'm so glad to see you. How you doing, buddy? Oh, let's see, how long have I been here? 47 days. I spent 5 days here. Okay, wow, that's a lot of playtime. Okay, so I've spent an average of 3 hours a day on this character since I started this less than 2 months ago. Do not let my boss hear about this. Okay, bye Hans, glad you're a Christian now. You know who I forgot to ask? The guy who's in charge of this whole place, Duke Horatio. I do like that RuneScape sticks to the whole Duke title. It's very consistent with who is in charge of whom. When I was visiting London and England in general, I had the opportunity to visit a couple of castles, one of which had a recreated chamber of a king during the medieval era. So I have to say, this looks a lot like what I saw. The walls were not much different than the rest of the castle, but there were more decorations, paintings on the walls, carpets on the ground, the bed. This actually looks a little large. I mean, it wasn't really like a twin bed. It was just like a normal sized bed where only the king would sleep. It wasn't really this luxurious. This is like a hotel bed. He's staying at like a Motel 6. What I really love most about this is the consistency with the primary colors. Obviously, one thing you have to understand about medieval art is that 99% of it, at least in medieval Europe and especially England, where this is clearly drawing a lot of inspiration from, none of that art was casual. It was all religious in its usage and in its interpretation. So all these colors had really specific meanings, okay? Just about any resource you find, from collegiate to like the most basic interpretation of art in the medieval era, is gonna tell you that, you know, yellow symbolizes anything from like light and purity to like Easter. White is purity, purple is royalty, blue is any kind of like heavenly grace or any kind of like relationship to the Virgin Mary. Red, of course, has a whole bunch of associations, particularly blood. That's common across many cultures, and black, of course, associated with death. All of these symbols were very, very prominent, and remember, they're communicating to a relatively uneducated populace. So when you communicated any kind of art to the people, they needed to know what the art was about. So when you established a sort of common medium for what colors meant, and people could easily read that and understand it, they could read the art and say, oh, the Virgin Mary, that's who she is, she's good, she's pure. And when colors and inks became more available to the common populace, they interpreted these colors that way. A lot of people seem to look at medieval art today and say, oh wow, that art looks terrible, or it's weird and bad. Like, no, stop for a second and think. The ancient Greeks and ancient Romans made these amazing, like, photorealistic sculptures. You know, the statues were just brilliant and enormous and gorgeous. You really think for 1,000 years people just forgot how to art? No, like, this was a very intentional choice. There were two things driving the way that medieval art looked. One, the aforementioned need to communicate to an illiterate populace, and two, a strict law in Christianity that says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. So you can't make any idols. They interpreted this to mean you can't even make idols of Jesus. You can't make idols of anyone. So you can't make a three-dimensional sculpture of somebody. It has to be flat. And that meant their paintings, too, had to lack depth and perspective. So you'll see things where, you know, a person's face is turned as if in profile, yet you can see their other eye. They literally invented abstract art for the sake of preserving their religious beliefs. And if that's not a beautiful marriage of form, function, spirituality, and the pursuit of art for the sake of art itself, I don't know what is. Medieval art is amazing. Yeah, it's not pretty by today's standards, but you don't have to like it. It's just what it is. It's not asking you to like it. It's just saying, here's the stories. I hope you understand them. So when you walked into a church like this, you weren't just coming for the scenery or the worship or the friends or family. You had to learn by reading what was on the walls, looking at the images. You couldn't read the Bible. You weren't literate. You would look at this image of, you know, Sarah Doman in a fight and go, oh, that's my history. That's what I believe. I recognize that image. I know what that means, and I can learn from it, because this thing, this is impossible. I don't get this whole reading thing, but images, I get that. I can see that. And maybe if I stare at it long enough, I can understand it. That's what medieval art is about. It's not about aesthetic or beauty. It's about communicating a desperate desire to save everyone from what they perceived to be a very real, very imminent, immortal demise. So whether or not it's true or whether or not you believe it, it's pretty cool. Okay, so I wasn't recording, but Hans did come through for us. He told us what happened in the cellar. All right, cool. I have permission to unblock it. The only problem is I don't currently have a light source. Now, in theory, I could level my crafting to 49, get myself a sapphire. I think I probably have one lying around somewhere still. And I could make myself a bullseye lantern. The only problem with that is I don't feel like leveling crafting right now. I think it won't be a problem. I'm just gonna open this up first, and then I'm gonna go get myself a candle from somewhere. Oh no, are there swamp gases? Is that swamp gas? Okay, if that's swamp gas, then I might have a problem, because that's gonna be a lot of damage. Okay, so it's dark, but does that actually stop me from doing anything? I can still see the brooch. Will I hurt myself? I mean, I can still see. I don't get it. Ah, I wasn't paying attention. Climb through. Oh my gosh, I have to eat my food. What's happening? Climb through the hole. Where's the hole? Ah! Whew. Okay, all right. Oh my gosh, that was so terrifying. I almost lost my hardcore status to the gas that I couldn't see because of the, I don't know. Okay, I definitely have to get the bullseye lantern because that is way too dangerous. I'm gonna be back after I level my crafting. I really thought I could walk through with a candle. Whoops.
Here comes the rain again, falling from the stars, drenched in my pain again, becoming who we are. As my memory rests, but never forgets what I lost, wake me up when September